Good morning. Matthew 5, verse 16. I'm not a religious person, but I'm always able to find inspiration in all the places that it can be found. So I'm not a Christian, but there are many verses of the Bible that I take to heart. Matthew 5, verse 16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. No, you can take that whichever way you want. If you're a Christian, you can take it whichever way you want. If you're not, take it whichever way you want. I'll tell you how I take it. When I was an adolescent, I was very, very, very what I would call militant in the sense of black power, in the sense of spreading the word among my black people, letting them know how great their ancestors were, letting them know that they can come back into their true power and regain their rightful position in the world. And I was so fervent, I was so passionate about that. And whoever I could spread the word to, I tried to, whether it's family, friends, co-workers. Now, when I left high school, when I left sixth form, I got a job working at a bank at the head office. And it was a very good job. 18 years old, 19 years old, earning the salary of a bank clerk. That's a good job, right? I was essentially fired from that job. They didn't terminate me, but they asked me to resign. And I believe the reason for that is because, or the reason is that I would make it my point of duty to photocopy material that talked about African history and Black power and down to white supremacy, and I would distribute them among my coworkers. Of course, that would reach the higher heads, the bigger heads, and I believe that was what made them make the decision to ask me to resign. Um, I was also in a part of a group where we met at Nelson Mandela Park in Halfway Tree. We call it the Lodge. And we would do the same thing, play speeches by Malcolm X and Dr. Ben and Marcus Garvey and distribute flyers and so on. And I'm sure word trickled back to the powers that be. Now, I say all of that to say this. While I am still adamant about my beliefs, I wouldn't consider myself a militant in that sense anymore because I don't go around trying to convince anyone of anything. I have come to realize that some people will never see your truth. As a matter of fact, your truth is your truth. But some people will never share your views because they're just not where you are on their journey, and you just have to accept that. And this could be your children, your spouse, your mom, your dad. You may so-called see the light and want to share that, and you're so passionate and you're so happy that, hey, I found out this thing and I'm on this road and it's so great, and I want all the people who I love to be on that same road and to benefit from what I feel are the good things of being on that road. But the hard truth of life is that you just have to accept people are where they are on their journey, and there's nothing you can do to make them see what you see, because they're not standing where you are standing at the place in time that you are standing there. Okay? So if you have found a truth and you're living a truth, just try to find those who already see that truth and are already walking in that truth. That's a much easier task. uh, where you won't have to preach to the converted. They're already converted. They already agree. It's just a matter now of holding hands and walking, or maybe not even holding hands, just skipping along together, because you already share that truth. And the good part about that is, if what you are saying is really true and good and solid and sound, guess what? It is going to reflect in the life you live. It's going to reflect in your surroundings. It's going to reflect in the abundance of your life, in the calmness of your energy, in the prosperity that comes to you. And those who see that will have the evidence. You won't have to preach, they will see it. If you're on a particular lifestyle path, which involves a particular diet, a particular way of doing things, a particular exercise, whatever it is, eliminating whatever, you don't need to preach about it. If it is good, the results will show. That's one thing about life. That's one thing about life. The results will show. How you live will be reflected in your health, in your life, the things that you have around you, the chaos or the calm. It will be reflected in that. So you don't have to go about trying to knock people over the head, trying to get them to agree with you. You can raise your children, and all of us naturally raise our children according to what we think is the right way. If you're a meat eater, you give your children meat. If you're a vegetarian, you give your children vegetables. If you're a Christian, you take your children to church. If you're an atheist, you don't take your children to church. But whatever path you start your children on, best believe they are going to come to a point and a place where they will decide if they're going to carry on with you or if they're going to branch off on their own path. And you just have to accept that. It will break your heart if you have raised your kids from in conception to teenage years, adolescent years. You have raised them with not a morsel of meat passing their lips. And then they declare one day that, hey, I want to taste chicken. I want to eat pork. I want to eat KFC. I want to eat the pizza that I see my friends having. It will break your poor little heart in two. If you raise your kids not being religious and you impress upon them the dangers of religious dogma, there might come a time when they declare to you, hey, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a whatever. You raise them a particular way and they declare, I'm gay, I'm Gothic, um, whatever, whatever the case may be, whatever the declaration is. If you are on your journey and your journey is a good place to be, it will show. And the thing about it, it might be a good place for you and not for somebody else. It might be a good journey for you and not for your children. The same children who came from your egg, your sperm, your womb, your home, the journey that you are on might not be the right fit for them. As good as it is for you, it might be not be the right fit for them. So we just have to give each other grace. Just understand that you came into this world by yourself. Through someone, yes, but by yourself. And you will leave this world by yourself. And who knows where you will go after this, if you will go anywhere. We don't really know. We can speculate. We don't really know. But just do what is best for you. Don't try to knock anyone over the head. Let your light shine. You in your small corner, I in my small corner. Let your light shine, and others will see that light. And if it is something that they find desirable, they will join you. Simple. Simple.